Welcome to Mystara, where we are back on schedule and looking at the second group of guilds in the known world, the guilds of Minrothad, the not nice guilds. Unlike Darrican, not all the guilds in the islands are merchant guilds, and all of them are connected directly to the government in one way or another. Crossing a guild in Minrothad is a good way to end up face down in a river, if you aren't just executed outright. The guilds are ruthless, unforgiving, and backed up by the law. I'm Mr. Welch, and caveat emptor. The major difference between Minrothad's guilds and Darrican's is that Minrothad has two different types of guilds, the family guilds and the political guilds. The 5 family guilds each represent a different island and are broken down along racial lines. The guilds specialize in a particular set of goods and services, and overlapping is prohibited by law unless permission is given to share the duty. All metal work has to be done by Guild Hammer. If Guild Coarser needs metal tools for a job, they're required to purchase them from Guild Hammer. This type of specialization has both benefits and drawbacks. The goods from each house are high quality as they are allowed to concentrate on just a few products, but any disruption in a guild's production cascades throughout the rest of the nation due to shortages of needed supplies. When the system works, it works flawlessly. When it malfunctions, it disrupts entire economies. The guild system is controlled by the ruling guild, in this case Guild Meditor. While in theory any of the various family guilds can become the ruling guild, in reality only the Meditor family has held the title since the beginning of the guild system. The 5 family guilds advise Clan Meditor, and the ruling guild has all the offices as the family guilds, except for the clan liaison, as those are provided by the family guilds to communicate with the ruling guild. The ruling guild nominates the rulers of the political guilds, smooths out disputes between family guilds, and deals with foreign nations on behalf of the rest of the nation. All negotiations between a family guild and a foreign power is meditated by the ruling guild. If there are allegations of misconduct against a high-ranking guild member, Clan Meditor will be the one to try the accused. The guild sets taxes, tariffs, and can even remove a clan from guild leadership if there is evidence of misconduct. The guild lacks power to punish minor members of a guild for a crime outside of treason. Those punishments are done by the family guild when necessary. As long as the situation has implications across the entire nation, it is the responsibility of Clan Meditor. Otherwise, the jurisdiction falls to the family or political clan most impacted by it. Guild Elisen is led by the Water Elves of Alfile. It is one of the wealthiest guilds, as it is in charge of shipbuilding and all related professions. Every ship built in Minrothad was created in the shipyards of Guild Elisen. Their ships are considered some of the best built, only behind Irindi's ships in terms of quality. They are closely associated with the Merchant Sailors Guild, as it is the duty of Guild Elisen to teach the profession of sailing, as well as building all of their ships and related goods. The guild wields large amounts of power because they can shut down a rival guild by simply cutting off their supply of ships to reach foreign ports. Like all family guilds in Minrothad, Guild Elisen is broken down into several specialized professions, each complementing the others. Shipbuilding is handled by a master keel maker, mast maker, and tackle maker. Each branch is tasked with building a specific part of the ship. Think of them as fantasy trade unions, only with a government monopoly to back them up. By law, no one can lay down a keel unless they work for the master keel maker of Guild Elisen. All fishing is handled by Guild Elisen, and everything that washes up on shore has to be handled over to the Shellmaker Guild. Their name is a holdover from when they just turned shells into jewelry. Now their task involves making use of the various flotsam that washes up on the beaches. This can be anything from seaweed to seashells to lost cargoes. The Sailors Guild teaches new sailors the tricks of the profession, and this is broken down further into pilots and riggers. Lastly, the varnish makers obviously create varnish, as well as other chemicals that are involved in making and maintaining sailing ships. Guild Verdier is on the other half of Alfile, and are comprised of wood elves, and as you can expect, handle all forms of woodworking. They also have close ties to several other guilds, including splitting food productions with Guild Quickhand. By law, they can only work with wood, either cutting it or milling it for use for other guilds. The only exception to this is driftwood, which is automatically the property of Guild Elisen. Verdier splits growing food with Guild Quickhand and supplies Elisen with sails for its ships. All construction work is done alongside Guild Hammer, as both wood and stone is needed. The best wood harvested by Verdier is sold to Elisen to make ships, the rest is provided to Hammer for buildings, and unusable scrap wood is sold to Quickhand to make charcoal out of. The divisions of Verdier are again by job, with the 5 secondary guilds being broken down even further. Carpentry is handled by the Building Construction Guild, the War Machine Guild, and the Wheelwright Guild. Any changes to a house or repairs have to be done by a member of the Carpentry Guild, making them far more powerful than their ledger book suggests. The Master Bowyer creates the famed Minrothad bows, which are far more accurate than normal bows. These are different from the ordinary longbows and shortbows that the guild makes for public consumption. Being caught with a Minrothad bow that isn't yours is a good way to lose a hand. They are only ever given to elves of Clan Verdier and don't even fit in human hands comfortably. The Master Woodcutter handles the clearing and replanting of forests. No trees can be cut down in Minrothad without a Verdier lumberjack, and no wood can be harvested except by them. The Woodmaker Guild handles the creation of furniture and other household goods, and is one of the busiest and wealthiest guilds in Minrothad. Lastly, there are the Cloth Makers, who break down their guild based on the types of different cloths and their uses. While most of their cloth is plant-based, like cotton or flax, they also have several herds of sheep and similar animals for their wool. Guild Hammer was founded just 75 years ago by dwarves fleeing Glantrain persecution. Led by Darkbrow Hammer, they brought metal and stoneworking to Minrothad, trades that the nation was sorely lacking. The influx of dwarven craftsmen allowed Minrothad to flourish and led to the opening of the nation to foreign trade. The dwarves are forward-thinking. While they're not quick to change, they are at least willing to try potential improvements in their trade more openly than their mainland cousins. Clan Hammer is responsible for all metal products found in Minrothad, as well as being tasked with getting all the mineral wealth out of the ground. Clan Hammer is one of the least divided of all the clans, with all the miners and quarry dwarves having no further breakdowns of their trade. The Masons Guild also trains the engineers, and also has the Trapsmiths Guild under its control for some reason. The smiths are divided between weaponsmiths, blacksmiths, and jewelers, as you could have expected. The Armorers Guild is broken down into different types of armor, including guilds devoted to just making shields or helmets, as well as armor and barding. Guild Quickhand is comprised almost entirely of halflings, though they do have the largest number of other races. Normally, changing guilds is forbidden in Minrothad culture, but the halflings are willing to overlook the stigma for hard workers that bring new skill to their guild. The halflings have 3 specialties: fuel making, household goods, and leather. They produce a lot of raw materials needed for the other guilds, giving them close ties to all the guilds needing their goods. This also makes the Hen disproportionately powerful in the capital. The Craftsmen's Guild makes all sorts of goods found in every home on the island. The Hen work with clay, reed, sand, and antlers to make baskets of every size, glass both normal and specialty, all sorts of pots, and various goods made of animal horns. There's not a household in Minrothad that doesn't have a product from Guild Quickhand in it. Fuel makers are tasked with making oil, charcoal, and candles for the houses and industries that need them. These items are rarely exported, instead used for more local needs. The Leather Workers Guild has multiple subdivisions, from shoes to armors to saddles and clothes. While they can use animals for their leather, they can't create fabrics like wool because of the strict restrictions on guild production. Guild Corsair is the only human-controlled guild, and has the most tumultuous past. Due to the nation's past ties with Alphatia, the humans used to control the Slavers Guild, as well as most of the entertainment forms. But only after the elimination of slavery, compounded by surges of lycanthropy and vampirism, Guild Corsair fell on hard times. Once they had stabilized, most of the industries had been claimed by the other guilds. That left them with few choices, so they specialized in luxury products. Instead of mass-produced trade goods, Corsair makes custom-designed luxury goods. They produce the least amount of goods by far, but they also make a healthy profit because of their higher margins on their products. Corsair is one of the largest exporters of tobacco and tobacco products, but having to compete with the Five Shires and the Turtle Clans means they have to specialize in exotic and rare forms of tobacco. The guild also grows a large variety of rare spices. Uniquely, they scour the mainland looking for magic items for sale. Exporting magic items out of Minrothad is forbidden, but the Minrothad wizards will pay good money for magic items imported into the guilds. Corsair has turned that into a core part of their business. Similar to their spices, Guild Corsair creates a large number of high-quality liquor, but not in large amounts, to increase their price abroad. If your party has a lot of gold and is looking to blow a huge chunk of it, Guild Corsair will have something for you. The Merchant Sailors Guild is the first of the political guilds, and it is tied to all of the guilds because of their importance. The guild controls all sailing ships used to transport goods, as well as the docks and related warehouses. Every merchant sailor, dockhand, and stevedore is a member of this guild. They are trained by Guild Elisen, and then spend a lot of time working as apprentices to the guild before becoming full members. They will work with the tutorial guild and its merchant princes, as both the crew and the merchant princes are vital to the success of the Minrothad guilds. The Mercenaries Guild's name is misleading, as this guild are the Marines and the ground forces of Minrothad, and with the exception of the Marines, are never deployed away from Minrothad. Unlike every other guild, the Mercenaries are never expected to make money. It's the only guild that costs the nation to operate. The soldiers are paid well and are even given a pension after they leave service. Marines make up no less than 20% of a ship's crew, and are also expected to train the ship's crew in self-defense. Minrothad soldiers are considered highly trained with good morale, but their lack of numbers means they're not a danger outside of the nation. The Tutorial Guild has numerous functions, having been founded to create a series of schools and universities to educate the island's populations. But the duty of the guild has expanded, so now their members serve as attorneys and barristers for court cases. But their most famous role is the training of all wizards in Minrothad, including the merchant princes. Not every wizard in Minrothad is a merchant prince, but all wizards are required to be members of the Tutorial Guild. The guild controls the sale of magic items in the nation, and is Guild Corsair's biggest customer due to their ability to acquire new magic items. Wizards are given a large amount of leeway in the guild, but also suffer harsher penalties if they abuse their position. One of the biggest secrets in Minrothad is that the government controls the Thieves Guild. To outsiders, it's just another bunch of burglars and cutpurses working over sailors in a port. In reality, the Thieves Guild is controlled by the ruling guild as its spy network. The guild does employ petty criminals to keep up appearances, but most of their members work abroad, committing industrial espionage and trying to get helpful information for Minrothad's privateers. Guild members are given lenient sentences as long as they're doing the guild's work, and most of the time they're just sent to another part of the nation or abroad, and their paperwork is forged by government officials who know the true nature of the thieves. Again, the guilds work as a combination of monopolies and trade unions. They keep out foreign traders, but also prevent their guilds from branching into competing services. This can be a detriment due to the lack of internal competition, so there's always the threat of becoming complacent in their ways. Minrothad is always about maximizing profits, and the guilds take this to heart, but they often don't pay attention to long-term goals, leaving them vulnerable to market manipulations. That's the guilds of Minrothad. This one ran a little long because it was a lot to cover. Minrothad's mercantile system was a bit more complicated than Darrican's, and there's no denying they are far more underhanded. Next week we are headed up north to check out some Viking babes with the Volva, or the Wise Women of the Northern Reaches. The ones tasked by immortals to safeguard forbidden magics, those women. Until next time, remember, if money can't buy happiness, I guess I'll have to rent it.